Hey everyone, so it's time for another Doctor Who episode review. First of all, forgive me if I sniff throughout this video. I do have a really bad cold, but obviously I don't want to get behind schedule with my videos. But hopefully it's tolerable. So this is of course the 5th episode of the new series, The Rebel Flesh. I will be honest, when I went to sit and watch this, I watched it on iPlayer. I was like, part of me is really enjoying it, and like, looking forward to watching this, you know, obviously because it's Doctor Who. But at the same time, I was kind of like, I don't really think that this one's going to deliver too well. I just had a really negative feeling about this one. But within the first 10-15 minutes, that was flipped completely around, and I did love this. It just went dark all of a sudden. So as usual, I've made my notes. It's only a page of notes, although I think my writing is smaller this time. But there's less notes in this than some of the other ones, which in a way is a good thing, because there's less to think about. But I'll just go through them chronologically again. Okay, so first of all, when one of the people fell in the acid at the beginning, and they were just really cool and calm about it, I was like, that's not normal. That's really weird. And obviously we find out later why that happened. But I was like, that's a little bit bizarre. And also, did anybody notice what I think was a pot noodle on the stairs of the TARDIS? Like in the second scene, the scene just after the titles, when the camera was panning around the TARDIS to go to the darts game, on the stairs there was what I think is a pot noodle. I thought that was funny. Okay, so the fact that it started off with Amy's body scan was a bit unexpected, because obviously the episodes that have featured that have had it at the end, and it's been sort of like, uh-oh. But now it's giving it to us at the very beginning and reminding us about it constantly now, which in a way still does annoy me, because this one thing has been going on for 5 episodes, whereas Russell T Davies' era had individual plots for each episode, and there was never really one carried right across, apart from like the whole Bad Wolf thing, but that was never as in your face. But it does draw our attention to it, and I do actually kind of like the fact that it's there, because I did forget about it, kind of. Another bit I absolutely loved was when they had the solar storm, and the Doctor goes, assume the position, and the Doctor flung himself down, Amy flung herself to a chair, and Rory's just looking around, totally clueless, as if to say, you know, what position are you on about? What am I doing here? I thought that was really cute and just kind of funny. And it just, Matt's Doctor is very, very funny. A lot more funny than David's Doctor, and I don't like to admit that. I didn't say that. But he is a lot more funny, and I do think that was very, very subtle but very good. Then when they landed and all you could hear was Dusty Springfield's version of You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, I got quite excited. I have 3 versions of that song on my iPod. I have John Barrowman's, I have Mary Burns, and I have Jay McDonald's. So that is one of my all-time favourite songs. So for it to be played as background music in my second favourite all-time ever TV show is pretty special, so I got quite excited then. The next thing that sort of really made me pay attention was when the Doctor put his hand in the acid. I was like, what are you doing, idiot? At the same time, though, I thought it was really cool, because it was like his hand was just, my hand looks really funny, his hand was just like hovering on it. It wasn't sinking in, it wasn't eating at him, it was just hurting him, and that obviously wasn't nice. But I really liked that bit. I just found it quite cool, which might be a bit sick, but it was nice. I also really love it when the gangers are grown, how, you know, it's just the mould of them emerging through the flesh, and then, you know, you can see their features in their mouth and they turn into the ganger. I quite liked to watch them be grown. I thought it was quite fascinating. I also just really love the appearance of the gangers when they're all just pure white. It reminds me of, you know, the glue you had at school that came in little plastic pots about that big, and if some idiot left the lid off of it, the top of it would go solid, and you could like push it in, and it was quite bouncy and rubbery. That's what the flesh reminded me of, which I thought was pretty cool. I like that. I was going to say something else there about the flesh, but I can't remember. But yeah, I just found that to be really, really exciting. My other favourite quote in this was when the Doctor says, and I'm going to have to try and get this right, because I didn't write the whole quote down. I just wrote down cockerel quote. Actually, I love it when he said, I love a cockerel. I was thinking if only he'd used the abbreviation for cockerel, that would have been my favourite quote out of the entire show. I would have loved it. But he said, I have to get to that cockerel before all hell breaks loose. Loved that one completely. I just thought it was so, again, it's just so funny. It's not directly funny. It's not like a knock-knock joke. You know, it's not trying to be funny. It just is really funny. And then we had Dusty Springfield singing again, which I really, really, really loved. When we found out that Jennifer was actually the flesh, was actually the doppelganger rather than herself, I should have seen that one coming. I really should have done, because we didn't actually see her. You know, she was the only one who wasn't initially the doppelganger. Well, the ganger. So it kind of was going to be coincidental if she was still herself. I was surprised that it went quite well, but then obviously once they explained that if the real person isn't a violent person, the ganger isn't going to be too ferocious. So I was like, why didn't you just kill Rory? Not that I wanted it to happen, I love Rory, but I was just kind of confused to start off with why the flesh, when it was all elasticy, didn't just kill Rory there and then. But obviously it made sense, and I was a bit scared. They are quite, when they flash their faces from normal to flesh, ganger to flesh, it was kind of weird. Another bit I really loved, which I thought was really, really random, was when Miranda, as the ganger, as the flesh, just ran away, because obviously she's one of the bad guys. She's one of the enemies here, and normally the enemies aren't going to run away from the Doctor, but she did, and I thought that was bizarre and amusing for all the right reasons. I really did think that was brilliant, and I laughed a lot, and that's just my sense of humour perhaps, but I just thought it was really different and kind of cute. Yeah, the woman with the eye patch, we saw her again. It was only time since she wasn't in the last episode, and I was like, this doesn't make it any easier to try and work out who she is. Sorry, who she is. I still have no clue about who she is. I have no theories. I can't even remember the theories I had from the first few episodes. I will have to watch those videos back and remember my theories. But it's just so confusing, and part of me wishes that every time we see her we were given more information. But I think if we figured it out too early, it'd obviously spoil the whole thing. Nobody has any certified information. Everybody just has theories and suggestions, but we'll have to wait and see who she actually really is. At 39 minutes in, which is like 4 minutes before it ends or something, we saw just a hand, well, it was the back of the hand like that, just pulling himself across. That's the point that I realised that when the flesh was speaking, saying, trust me, that's the point I realised that that was the Doctor's ganger. Should have put two and two together and realised that since he'd put his hand in the flesh, he would have been formed. But at the same time, I'm confused as to how it happened, because I thought his ganger could only be formed if he was wired up to that, you know, that machine thingy where he had his hands down the side and things. I thought the ganger could only be formed if he was connected to the other machines. And then obviously once he was disconnected, the gangers would turn into evil flesh. So I'm not quite too sure what the excuse is that the flesh could form this ganger without the Doctor being wired up. Maybe it's because he's a Time Lord and he's extra powerful. I think that'll be the excuse they'll give, probably, because there's no other reasonable explanation for it. And then the scene at the end when he was speaking, or when the ganger was speaking and Matt's mouth wasn't moving, I was like, yeah, I should have noticed that. Very, very, very funny, to be honest. It shouldn't have been funny. It should have been like, uh-oh. But I laughed. I really did. I was like, two Matt Smiths. I'm not complaining. The only thing is, I didn't think, and I don't think this should be a two-parter. I really did enjoy it. I love the concept of the gangers in the flesh. Although they're really cutting back on being creative with creatures. They're all creatures who we can't see, or who don't have real, you know, like David's era had, every new episode had a new physical monster, you know, the Ood, the Centauran, the Reaper, the Zikarax. They were all different beings, whereas all of this era seemed to be like the flesh, the house, I mean, the silence were kind of a bit like that, but they were still just human body with a bulb for a head. But yeah, it was a really good episode. I am looking forward to the next part, but part of me is still like, still would have liked it to have been one episode, because I want to see what else they can do. Too many two-parters can get a bit boring, but we'll see what happens. Somebody please remind me, or tell me, because I don't even know this, let alone remind me, whether it's 6 episodes or 7 episodes until the break. To be honest, that quite upsets me, because The next one is the 6th episode. That could be the last one. And even if it's not, we only have one more episode after that until there's a break for months. And it's like, no, I need my Doctor Who fix every week. But I'll just rewatch all of David's. It's fine. Yeah, but please feel free to leave comments. Let me know your thoughts on this episode. Any theories you might have now, or any contradictions to theories you've previously had. But that is it for just now, so I will see you all next time. Bye!